Hi everyone. Hope everything is clear from my side. Just confirm me once again. Okay. In today's class, we are going to discuss about immunology. Okay. We have completed all other units. The only left units will be the immunology, and we're going to discuss this units from today. Okay. Now, uh, so in your syllabus, the first line will be the cells of immune system. What are all the important cells which is dealing with the immune system? So we are going to discuss about that. How many types of immune cells? So we are going to discuss about the immune cells first. So the first cells will be the lymphoid cells. Okay. In the lymphoid cells, we have two important cells. One is B cells, that is B lymphocytes, and T cells and T lymphocytes. Okay. B cells or B lymphocytes is nothing but they are the cells which is going to produce an antibody. See, in B lymphocytes, we have two different types of cells. One is plasma cells and another one is memory cells. Okay. Plasma cell is the one which is going to produce this antibodies that is bind to specific antigens. And always antibody have a binding site to the antigen. Okay, 1 minute.
Recording in progress.
Now, am I audible to you? Dharma, Basha, just confirm me, am I audible to you or not? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. See, we have completed everything. Okay, so majorly we have covered all the most important topics, almost all. Okay, maybe one or two topics will be left, and that will not have that much importance in your exam. Okay, but more or less we have completed everything. Okay, good morning. See, from today we are going to discuss about this immunology. Okay, the most important chapter. Okay, and first will be in your syllabus, the first will be the cells of the immune system. Okay, so we are going to deal with what are all the important cells that is dealing with the immune system. Okay, and what is this lymphoid cells? First, in the type of immune cell, the first cell will be the lymphoid cell. Okay, and we have two different types of cells in the lymphoid cell. One is B cell and the T cell. And anybody know what are all the two types of B cell? We have two types of B cell. One is plasma cell and another one is memory cell. Okay, this plasma cell is the one going to produce this antibodies. Okay, and all the antibodies have a binding site for the antigens, that is for specific antigens on the pathogen, marking them for destruction or the neutralization. Okay. Now, what is their function? Adaptive immunity and humoral immunity. They are involved in this type of immunity. Okay, so what is their location? Where this B cell is getting developed? B cell is getting developed in the bone marrow, mature in the lymphoid tissue. Here the question can be arised from here. Okay, mature lymphoid tissue, the B cell is getting in the lymphoid tissue, the B cell is getting matured. In bone marrow, it is getting developed. Okay. For example, lymph nodes and the spleen. Okay. And in the T cells, it plays an important role in the cell mediated immunity. Okay, what is happening exactly in the cell mediated immunity? Actually, in this type of immunity, these T cells directly kill the infected cells or help activate other immune cells. Okay, so here in cell mediated immunity, they are going to directly kill that particular infected cells, or it is going to activate the other immune cells. Okay, their function will be the cell mediated immunity and immune regulation. And where this T cells is getting developed, the T cells is getting developed in the bone marrow and mature in the thymus. Okay, thymus means thymus dependent. They found throughout the body, including the lymphoid tissue. So this will be the important thing when it comes to the lymphoid cells. Okay, so these are all the two types of cells. Anybody having any doubts regarding this lymphoid cells? If you have any doubts, you can ask me side by side. Okay. So the second type of cells will be the mononuclear cells. In the mononuclear cells, we have three different types of cells. One is monocyte, macrophages, and dendritic cells. And let me ask you a question. What is the difference between monocytes and macrophages? What is the difference between monocytes and macrophages? Do you know or what? Okay, let me say. And what is monocytes? Monocyte is the one which is a precursor to the macrophages and dendritic cells, which means what? From this, macrophages is going to develop. Okay, and what is the function of this monocytes? They are going to engulf the pathogen and present this antigen to the T cells. Okay, so monocyte is the one going to entrap the pathogen, and they are going to give this pathogen to which cell? T cell. This is what happening in the monocytes. Okay. And what is their function? Yes, very good. Monocytes are further developed as the macrophage. Very good. And also you should know that what is the function of the monocytes? It is involving in the what process? Engulfing the pathogen. So it is called as a phagocytosis process. And they are presenting this antigen to which cells? T cells. So we are calling them as the antigen presenting cells. Okay, so it is involved in the function of antigen presentation. Now, one of the most important difference between this monocyte and macrophages is, since this monocyte is the one circulating the blood. Okay, they are involved in the circulation in the blood, and they are the one migrate to the tissues. Okay, they are initially it is circulating in the blood and it is migrating to the tissues, where they differentiate into the macrophages or the dendritic cells. Okay, so you should know that whenever it is in the blood, we are calling them as the monocytes, and whenever it is reaching the tissues, it is differentiated into macrophages or dendritic cells. Okay, now what is the function of macrophages? So after it has been differentiated into the macrophages from the monocytes, it has been involved vigorously in engulfing and digesting the pathogens and cellular debris. And after digesting and engulfing, it is going to presenting that particular antigens to once again to T cells. Okay, once again, it is involved in the process of phagocytosis, antigen presentation, and tissue repair. Okay, now this is the one found in tissues throughout the body. Okay, this macrophages found in the tissues throughout the body, like lungs, liver, spleen, and the lymph nodes. So you should know that the immune cells is present not only in certain areas, instead of that, it is present in all over the organ and the tissues in the body. Okay, now what is dendritic cells? What is the function of dendritic cells? It is the one capturing and presenting the antigen to the T cells. So you should know that what is APC. APC is nothing but an antigen presenting Antigen presenting cells. And what are the APC cells? What are APC cells? Then you should know that that will be the macrophages and dendritic cells. Okay. So because this is the one, these two cells are presenting the antigen to which cell? T cell. Okay. Now, so this is crucial in initiating the adaptive immune response. So what is the function of dendritic cells? It has the function of antigen presentation and activation of T cells. Okay. Now where this dendritic cell is present? It is found in the tissues that are contact with the external environment. So this dendritic cells is present in the skin, mucosa of the respiratory and gastrointestinal tract. Everybody clear? Now, and we have different types of cells, that is granulocytes. And granulocytic cells have neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, and mast cells. What these cells? What are these cells? They are nothing but a white blood cells. Okay, in white blood cells, we have a granulocytes and we have an agranulocytes. And these granulocytes specifically is involved in the function of immunology. Okay, it is involved in the immune system. Now, in the granulocytes, the first cell will be the neutrophils. Most abundant type of WBC will be the neutrophils. And you should know that whenever any infection which is happening in our body, this is the first cell which is going to respond to that particular infection. Okay, and it is the one engulf and destroy the pathogen. So you should know that this is the important point. Now, what is the function of neutrophils? This is involving engulfing, so the process will be the phagocytosis. Okay, and definitely they are involving in destroying the pathogen. So definitely they are going to release some substances, and that is nothing but an antimicrobial substance. And what is their location? They are circulating in the body, migrate to infected tissues. Okay, and if eosinophils to combat the multicellular parasites involved in allergic reactions and modulate the inflammation. So this is an important keyword. This can be asked in your question. So which type of WBC? It is involved in the allergic reactions. This is the first statement they can give. And also, and which type of granulocytic cells is involved in the allergic reaction? Okay, either way they can ask. So you should know that that will be the eosinophils. Okay, and what will be their function? Defense against the parasites, regulation of allergic response. So this will be an important thing when it comes to the eosinophils. And they where will be their location? Once again, it is circulating in the blood and migrating to tissues due to their allergic reactions. Whenever they find their allergic reactions in that particular location, the count of eosinophils will be little bit higher. Okay. Now, third cell will be the basophil. Here, they are involving in releasing histamine. So, this is the important statement. Okay. And from this histamine, what is going to release? This is not only the cells which is going to release the histamine, there are also other cells. We are going to read that cells further. And here basophils is the one releasing the histamine and other chemicals. Okay. In response to what? In case if it finds any allergens. In case if the body is fighting against the allergen, the basophil is going to release the histamine, and the histamine have some of the important cells. Okay, so that is the one involving in the allergic reactions. Okay, their function is to fight against the allergic response and the inflammation. Once again, they are circulating in the body and circulating in the blood, and it is found in lower numbers in tissues, found in the lower number. Okay, and mast cells specifically, this is the exact cell which is going to release the histamine. Okay, and other inflammatory mediators, which is prostaglandins, like that, in response to the pathogens and allergens involved in the allergic reactions. Once again, they are fighting against the allergens, and where it is present it is present in the connective tissue, especially near the blood vessels and mucosal surfaces. Okay, so these are all the types of immune cells. Okay, so these are all important cells which is going to involve in the immune system. So the first question, which immune cells produce the antibodies? Answer me quickly. See, we have studied two different types of cells. In B cells, we have studied two different types of cells. Which is cell exactly going to produce antibody? Which cell is exactly produce this antibodies? Plasma cell is the one involving in producing the antibodies. And what is the function of this memory cell? What is the function of this memory cell? See, whenever a human body, yeah, very good. Whenever a human body is exposed to some type of microorganisms for the first time, whenever it is fighting against some antigens, it has to do all the functions and finally it has to reach the B cell and more specifically the plasma cell, and it is going to produce the antibodies, and it will be the longer period, okay, to analyze the infection first, okay. But whenever the human body is facing the infection for the second time, this memory cell has keeping a memory. So this is the virus which have been we have followed certain mechanisms to this virus, to kill this virus for the first time, and for the second time this memory cell will keep a memory how we have killed this particular virus, so it will be easy for the second time, okay. So that is the function performed by this memory cells, okay. So the answer for this question will be the B cell and more specifically the plasma cell. Okay. Now, what this B cell is critical in involving the humoral immunity. The word humoral means fluid. Okay. Now, where do B cells mature? Don't get confused with this statement. You should know that B cells is the one developed and matured in bone marrow. Okay, it is not like B cells. Okay, so B cell is the one which is developed and mature in the B cells. Okay, fine. And which type of T cells directly kills the infected cell? In T cell, we have a cytotoxic T cells, we have a T helper cell, and we have a T suppressor cell. Okay. And also you should know that in the cytotoxic T cell, we have a surface marker CD8. And in T helper cell, we have a surface marker CD4 plus. Okay. So this is the cytotoxic T cells is involving in the virus infected cell. Virus infected cell. Okay. So, and this T helper cell is the one which has been targeted by the HIV virus. Okay. So, this is the one they are going to destroy. Now, which cell is directly kills the infected cell? That will be the cytotoxic T cell. Okay. So, this is the cell which is going to kill the infected cell directly. Okay, it is going to directly bind to this particular infected cell and they are going to kill that. Okay, everybody clear? So the answer will be the cytotoxic T cells. Okay, now which T cell subtype helps activate the other immune cells? Just have a note of this marker which is will have the which marker. Very good. See, this is the T helper cell which assists in the activation of B cell, cytotoxic T cell and macrophages. Okay. So the most important statement, have a note of it. Now, What are the regulatory T cell primarily found? Where are these regulatory T cell primarily found? Where are the regulatory T cells primarily found? And that will be the peripheral tissues. Okay. Regulatory T cells are found in the peripheral tissues where they help regulating the immune response. Okay. Which mononuclear cell type is precursor to macrophages and dendritic cells? Very good. That will be the monocytes. Okay. Whenever it is circulating in the blood, we are calling them as the macrophages. Sorry, monocytes. Whenever they are reaching certain tissues, they have this monocyte is the one differentiated into macrophages and dendritic cells. Okay. Now, which cell type is involved in antigen presentation to T cells? Which cell type is involved in antigen presentation to T cells? Antigen presentation cells will be the macrophages and dendritic cells. Okay, we know that. Now, where do these dendritic cells capture the antigen for presentation to T cells? Bone marrow, spleen, lymph nodes, skin, and the mucosal tissues. Where these dendritic cells? The most important question. Dendritic cells is present in where, and in that particular area they are going to capture this antigen and they are going to present these antigen to T cells. That will be obviously the skin and the mucosal tissue. Now, which mononuclear cell type is abundant in bloodstream and can migrate into tissues? Which is abundant in bloodstream and can migrate into tissues, and that will be the mononuclear cell type. Here it is not asking about the granulocyte cell type. It will be the mononuclear cell type. So that will be the monocytes. Okay, Dharma? Okay, fine. Which mononuclear cell type is involved in tissue repair? Okay, just answer for this question. Once again, here will be the mononuclear cell type. So you can easily come into a conclusion that will be the macrophages. Very good. Now, which granulocytic cell type is the most abundant white blood cell in circulation? In circulation, that is a granulocytic cell type which is abundant. Very good. That will be the neutrophils. And which granulocytic cell type? Okay, I think that will be the upcoming question. Which granulocytic cell type is involved in combating multicellular parasites? Which cell type is involved in combating multicellular cell type will be the eosinophils. Very good. Okay, response to the also involved in the allergic response. And which cell type releases the histamine in response to the allergens? And that will be basophils. And mast cell is also going to release the histamine, no doubt in that. Okay, and other inflammatory mediators in response to allergens. Okay, now where are these basophils primarily found? Basophils, they are generally found in the bloodstream. Okay, all the cells which is streaming in the, which is circulating in the bloodstream. Now, which cell plays a key role in modulating inflammation? That will be the eosinophil. Very good. They can modulate the inflammation, particularly involved in the allergic response and parasitic infections. Which cell release the histamines and other mediators in response to the pathogen and allergens? See, eosinophil, basophil, everything will be involved in the allergic reactions. There will be the slight modification. Who is going to respond first? Okay. See, this master cells is the one release the histamine and other inflammatory mediators in response to the pathogen, allergen, and other stimuli. Okay. Where are these mast cells predominantly located in tissues? It is predominantly found in the connective tissue, especially near the blood vessel and mucosal surfaces. Okay, don't get confused with the statement. What is the primary function of the mast cells in immune system? What is the primary function of the cells in immune system? Same question. Once again, it is involving in the releasing inflammatory mediators. And which cell type shares similarities in function with the mast cell? That will be the basophil. Okay, because they are the basophils like mast cell release the histamines and other mediators in response to all these stimulators. Now, which cell is not primarily involved in immediate allergic response? Not involved in immediate allergic response. So that will be the T cells, because all these cells, basophil, eosinophils, mast cells, they are involved in the allergic response, as I said before. Okay, we didn't study any of this statement regarding the T cells. Okay, so that's all for today's class. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. For tomorrow, you are going to study the organs of the immune system. Okay, organs of immune system and antigens. Okay, we are going to finish these two. Okay, organs of immune system and antigens. And day after tomorrow, we'll focus on innate immunity and humoral immunity. Okay, so any doubts? We are going to finish. I think we have completed all other units. The only thing will be the immunology, will be the leftover topic. And we'll finish by this week. Okay. Any doubts?